Well, what a fairy tale last 9 months has been for my next guest. He's enjoyed. Let's try that again. Well, what a fairy tale last 9 months my guest has enjoyed. He provided the Honda that powered Helio Castroneves to his record-setting fourth Indianapolis 500 last season in May. He then backed up that accomplishment by fielding the winning DPI Acura, driven by Oliver Jarvis, Helio, Tom Bloomquist, and Simon Pagenaud, to win the 60th running of the IMSA Road Racing's crown jewel, the Rolex 24. I'm joined by team principal and co-owner of Meyer Shank Racing, Michael Shank. Michael, are you at all worried that maybe you're going to wake up from this dream? What an incredible 9 months.
It's been great, and I appreciate you having me today. It's been great. It's especially great considering, and some people noticed this and some didn't, that we had a very kind of tough year in sports cars that traditionally we've been very, very strong in. So, to get our kind of crap together over the wintertime and, it's the same people, it's the same car, it's the same of everything, just kind of reorganizing a little bit and come out of the box that strong. And I really feel that well run, not from my part, just from the engineer's part and the mechanics. I mean, just the strategy was spot on the whole day. And we had them beat on fuel strategy most of the race. And I'm just super proud of the guys.
You talk about that fuel strategy. There were some of the what I call regulars, the prognosticators, the talking heads, whatever you want to call them, that kind of questioned what you were doing. But they tended to forget that when you're running 24 hours, if you can stretch 3 or 4 laps before you have to come in, it's going to provide you with the oomph when it really counts. And certainly we saw that. But did you ever imagine it was going to be as intense at the end of 24 hours as it turned out to be?
I mean, it's so, with the way the rules are today and the way the pitting strategy, the way that IMSA pits the cars during yellow caution periods, we always, with only 7 cars, I mean, it's pretty easy to stay on the lead lap without a massive problem. And even if you go down, like we had a tire go down, and it didn't worry me that much. I mean, it really didn't, because I knew we'd get it back. As long as the car was whole, which it was, we were able to continue on kind of our path. But it's an interesting thing because our races are so close. The pit lane, we have a mandatory fuel time. So meaning we can't fill any quicker than 30 seconds, Okay. So therein lies a lot of ways that you can try to get fuel advantages and have to take less fuel when you're in the pits altogether. So for instance, if we save fuel during a stint and the other guys didn't save as much as we do, theoretically, we're not taking as much fuel the next time, and you can jump each other in the pits, which we've had it done to us a million times, but we just were on the leading end of that because we really focused on fuel savings for this race.
Well, and it did indeed pay off. I want to talk to you a little bit about this combination of drivers that you assembled for this. By the way, second Rolex 24. You won the 50th. Now you've won the 60th. I hope you don't have to wait for the 70th for the next
I hope not, but it's pretty cool nonetheless.
You combine Bloomquist and Jarvis. They're a great combination. But then you bring in Helio, the dancing man, the Indy 500 champion, and another Indy 500 champion who will make his debut in your Indy Car team this season, Simon Pagenaud. Who was the mastermind between bringing all of these diverse personalities, but even more importantly, driving styles to that Sirius XM Acura?
Well, it's a little deeper than that. I mean, we had a complete rework of our driver lineup in sports car. Dane Cameron decided to go to the Porsche program with Penske. Oliver Pla and I decided to go our separate ways. So we needed to regroup completely. So I went out in the sports car world and found some guys I thought could be rock stars with very little training and could just drop into the program and be successful. The other 2 guys, it's just a compliment to what we're doing in-house here. When we have 2 experienced guys that have driven this car for Roger, the sports car I'm talking now, they're already in-house. Why wouldn't I use them? In fact, it's almost insulting if I don't use them, right, from their perspective. They have the passion, they have the knowledge. They know, why wouldn't we use them? So that was actually pretty easy. But we were a little worried because we had a total reshuffle of our driver lineup. We didn't know totally what we had. We had tested Tom Bloomquist back at Atlanta in October, I believe, and he was a rock star immediately. And we left that test and I signed him up. So lots more to come, though. But we have Sebring coming up next. And as we sit here and talk today, I have Helio scheduled to drive with the other two. There could be a schedule conflict I'm still working through. We'll see.
I want to talk for a moment because in the post Rolex 24 celebration, the media car wash that both Simon and Helio participated in, Castroneves, leave it to him to drop the bomb that, after SRX and now winning a 24 Rolex 24 and winning the Indy 500. And I'm going to paraphrase, he wants to expand his horizons, and actually mentioned how much he would love to run the Daytona 500.
Yeah.
What do you think of that, Shank?
Listen, I would never hold him back. I can tell you that. And he would do fine at this stage in his life. There's no question. The Daytona race is fairly easy. And from a physical standpoint, I think there's a chess match part of it and side drafting you would have to learn, but he's very intuitive that way. He'll pick it up. So there's no question he could do it. There's no question. And it's just, is there anyone out there that thinks that it would be a benefit to have him on their team rather than maybe someone on their team now? Or, there's so many people that want to be with, he's so magnetic to talk to. People love being around him and want to be involved with him. And it's really helped our partnership side, our sponsorship sales. And it's just because he's got that personality that people want to support what he does. And he's so good with the partners. So there's definitely a way.
Yeah, well, there's definitely a way, but I didn't hear you mention anything about you taking a look at it.
Listen, we are so stretched to do the two Indy cars, and my wife has already thinks I'm crazy. So
I want to circle back for just a second. I think we lost you.
Oh,
there you
hold
go.
on. There we go.
Okay. I want to circle back for just a second to what you alluded to, that 2021 certainly was an underachieving effort on your part in the IMSA WeatherTech series. And you talked about the off season. So how did you get the ship pointed back in the right direction, Mike?
Well, honestly, it just took preparation. To be fair to my group, because they get mad when I talk about this publicly, but we for the first half of 2021, we struggled with controlling the car. Right, we just didn't have a consistent balance that we could count on. From halfway on, though, forward, if you really go dig into the numbers, you'll find that our car was very competitive, and we didn't get great results because of just various things. Right, so I knew we were on the right track. We just needed to get engineering lined up a little bit better and job assignments lined up a little bit better, and that communication path, if you will, a little bit better. Then also, just having more time with the car and more time on the pull down rig. And these cars are very sensitive to body work angles and measuring. They have to be on the surface plate a lot to make sure they're consistent. Just being able to do all those things and get them under one roof was very important. And also, I have a very, very good kind of damper performance engineer that worked really hard on what we call our third springs to help control the car. And I think all that contributed to our success. And, it doesn't show by the numbers because we pit a lot for fuel strategically. But when we were head to head with somebody in the pit lane, our guys always delivered.
You mentioned your damper secret weapon over in the IMSA side. Damper is so critically important also in the performance on the NTT IndyCar side. Is there some transfer that we should look forward to when they drop that green reg in St. Pete at the end of February?
In my case, because I have a technical alliance with Andretti's, there's not really. There's little smidgets here and there, but there's not really. We work with what they work with, and my engineers on the IndyCar side kind of work within their development band, and that's my commitment to Michael, and it's worked out pretty well for us.
I mentioned that you're a factory-backed Acura team. There was a lot of big news a couple of years ago when you picked up after the departure of Team Penske. What does that provide Meyer Shank Racing in the IMSA series? The fact that you are carrying the factory backing of Acura?
Yeah, it's depth. It's just depth of application, meaning it's not only our team, but we have everything from HPD and Honda to support the program. And by the way, we go up to the wind tunnel in Bell Fountain here, Marysville, Ohio. We use assets that they have that they can provide to help better the program. And it's a depth, that's the advantage that Penske's always had, besides having good people. But he has this depth a technical depth that a lot of us could never touch. Now, some of us, including myself, are starting to catch up now, but the depth is always which is unrelenting. I mean, if one thing goes down, someone's right behind to pick it up, and HPD kind of do that for us.
On the other side of the coin, you picked up a partner a couple of years ago, former CEO of SiriusXM, and just a dyed-in-the-wool gearhead, Jim Meyer. And in a lot of ways, I found it kind of fascinating as you two got together. He brought some strengths that maybe were not your strengths, and vice versa. But listening to him constantly, I tend to believe that you're the guy that's got to ride the bridle, because if Jim Meyer had his way, he'd want to go out and win not only in Indy Car and IMSA WeatherTech Racing Series, but in golf carts, in push carts, it doesn't matter what. He just wants to win everything.
He is an amazing person, Jack, and he is very unbridled, but he's extremely good. What he brought to MSR from the marketing side is just, I needed it desperately. And he was the guy for that. And he is so good in boardroom settings. He is used to being the king and the guy, but actually he has so much knowledge of human nature more than anything. Not to mention his network, his phone, if you get on his phone book there, you can't imagine who you find in there. And that depth on that side was definitely something that he and that the MSR, the old MSR needed. And I can tell you another little thing, his son is going to go to work for us soon too. And we look forward to that.
Well, one great thing that maybe most of my listeners don't know is he also possesses the largest supply of pink golf shirts of anybody in the world. That's the way you can pick them out.
Well, it's the most unironed pink shirts you've ever seen.
Yeah, that too. Hey, Michael, I couldn't be happier for you and your organization. What a way to kick off your new digs there in Ohio. Good luck in Sebring, and we're going to chat a lot, I'm sure, not only during the IMSA season, now that Wind Tunnel is trying to serve that much underserved universe in the podcasting business, but also when we drop the green flag on the 2022 NTT IndyCar Series. Thanks again. Be well.
We look forward to it. Thank you.